Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020. We just finished our first season. This is Chris. I was the Miami Hurricanes, and my friend Ryland was controlling Virginia Tech, but he certainly had decisions to make in the offseason. So just to recap, we made it to the NCAA tournament as a 3 seed, got upset in the first round. All the goals were met, and now we're getting ready to meet with the board as we prepare for our offseason. And I'm definitely very excited about recruiting and getting into it even more. I felt like there was a lot of things I learned with the first season, and definitely would appreciate anybody's feedback if there's any questions or comments you guys have with this series. So I asked for more money, and look, request denied. The board of directors denied request for facility upgrades. I was trying to get some new things with our program, but it didn't happen. And just to recap, our recruiting class, I was very happy with it last year. These are our 2021 recruits. And Bensley Joseph is one of our point guards, and he actually is committed to Miami. So I just flipped out the name, but I didn't mess with any of the ratings. And actually, his overall rating as a point guard around 10-11 was about the same as it is in this game. So I felt like it worked out well with that. So I'm looking forward to having Bensley as a point guard for his first year. Again, we're getting ready for the 2021-22 season and looking at our recruiting class. Ranked 17th again. We got those 2 4-star power forwards with Howard and Boddicker. I think that's going to be huge for us as we move forward, because I feel like the power forward position and the post is going to be a little bit more difficult for us to recruit in general. So if I feel like if we can get those positions down, I'll feel pretty good about the way we're moving with our program. Again, we had 5 seniors that left. Chris Likes was one. Cameron McGusty. Those were our big ones. Those are wing players. And just kind of looking here. So scouting services. I was really pleased with how it worked last year. So I remember I did the gold report, and there's different levels that you can do. And just looking at our team here. But just looking at the gold report, I felt like that was a good one for us. Basically, you get a lot of feedback. And I know Ryland did it differently, and I know he wishes he would have had a little bit more information, because these scouting reports really help your team. And just looking at Bensley Joseph once again. Team relationships, all this stuff is good. I like this, and his ratings look pretty good. 2-star right now, but that's okay. We don't need him to be a starter. If he could just provide solid minutes off the bench his freshman year. And then he's a potential 4-star, so I like that. I think that's going to be good. Mike Howard, he's wearing number 20. I got to decide on a number change. I always like when guys have good numbers and stuff. So that's good. He's a 4-star already. We're going to plug him into the starting lineup for sure. Potential 5-star. So I like that. Again, he was like a top 50 recruit. So it's great that it's coming back, because sometimes the overall ratings don't, for their first year, don't translate the way you would like. So I like that Howard is right in that mix to being productive as his first year. So we got to have a big year from Howard. I think he's going to be, certainly I'd like for him to average over double digits. We need him to be all of those kinds of things, really reliable. And oh my goodness. So there's Boddicker, is exactly what I'm talking about. So he's only a 1/2-star. He's got that potential that you like, but man, he is not. Hopefully that's off a little bit, because that, he'll come in for Howard, but you'd like him to be a little bit better of a player. Little concern there. Work ethic, I like seeing those team relationship things. Personality, good. Want solid minutes, so that's fine, because we're definitely going to have him in the mix as well. And if you guys remember last season, so we had Dane Gack. He was actually like a power forward, but we worked him at center a lot. And this is another one of our recruits that we got. So we got 5 guys. So Eddie Mcrae, he was one I was a little disappointed in, because at the time, it felt like it was a good get, and you see here the current rating, only a 1/2-star. Not surprising, because as the year went on in the evaluations, personality not friendly. Okay, expect starters minutes. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a mess. That is not a good combination. Anyways, as the ratings came on throughout the year, because they do it, I think on the month, every month they re-rate the rankings of the recruits. And Mcrae really dropped one time, because at one point he was like a borderline 4-star, and then he dropped all the way down. And this is a guy I was excited about, Larry Walters. I like the height, weight, athleticism. Good 2-star. I think that could be a solid bench player. Potential 4-star. That's great. That's what we want from our recruits. We want the potentials to be 4 and 5 stars. I feel like if we can load up on those and maybe break through with like an first team all ACC caliber player, I think that's going to get us in that right direction that we're looking for. Making the NCAA tournament is certainly our goal every year with this program, but I really want to somehow take home an ACC crown. That regular season title is the one that I want. The ACC tournament would be great. And if you guys know the Miami basketball program, they've only won one of each. In 2013, they actually doubled up and won both. And that's all they have in the history of their program. So if I was able to do either one of those, but just the way I'm looking at it, I really want that regular season title. I think that'd be a great accomplishment. So that's the goal. And then Miami's never advanced past the Sweet 16. So we definitely want to get to a Final Four at some point. That's the goals that I'm hoping for with this program. And I think getting these 4 and 5 star guys, like multiple guys, and maybe get that top of the line type of player. The way I look at it, I really hope Howard is that guy. I think Earl Timberlake, who's in for his sophomore year, could be that guy as well. But we just got to load up on him. And you got Isaiah Wong back. This would be his junior year. Same way with Beverly. And then we still have Elijah Oliniyi, the transfer. So that's going to be a good, now that he's going to be a full-time player. So I like that. See Mike Howard. I just think he's going to be big time, and Boddicker as well. And I think Boddicker, again, he's got that 4-star rating. So I think if we can just have him be solid this year and then kind of just really be that good player. So Timberlake, not too concerned. But the thing about last year with Timberlake is I moved him between the 3 and the 4. I really didn't like that. But once that injury went down to Nasir Brooks for the season, I had to like play a little smaller, so I put Timberlake at the 4. I felt like that he did okay there, but I definitely want to put him and the other guys in natural positions and put Timberlake at the 3 and really move forward with that. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this video series as well is to get you guys excited for the real season coming up. And Earl Timberlake is getting ready for his freshman year, and just get excited about the season. They're finally getting going. I've got to make some decisions on Eddie Mcrae here. I kind of want to cut him. I know that seems a little crazy, but I do not want to deal with this. I didn't like that his recruiting ranking was so far down. I didn't like that. I don't like that, so he's not an impact player. I don't like that he wants starters minutes, and then his personality seems like it could be an issue, and it feels like that could be difficult. Okay, so Matt Cross, again, that team relationship, that's really down. Personality, that's disruptive force. That's funny because that's not how he is in real life. But Cross was a difficult one for sure all year. He sent the email he thought about transferring, and I gave him a bunch of minutes, so hopefully he's sticking by with the team here, because Cross is going to be that good shooter that we're looking for off the bench that we need. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about Eddie Mcrae. Drop in the comments. And if you haven't yet, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. That always helps out with this series. I know some of you have been asking about this series because we had a little bit of a delay, but we're back and we're definitely excited. And again, I'm going to check in with Rylan at the end of the episode like I always do, see how things are going with him. And the other thing too with Mcrae, he's only 6'3", which is fine. It's just you kind of need him to be a little bit more elite at certain things. And I just look at him as just a bench piece in general. I think he's a guy that we can always, will certainly strive to recruit over. But I don't know. I'm just gonna get rid of him. And I don't know. I keep going back and forth. What should I do? I got to just make a decision if I want to get rid of him or not. I don't have to, but it frees up a scholarship. I like recruiting. Okay, so this is big news. Matt Cross has decided to transfer. I'm sorry to inform you, the following players have decided to transfer. Cross has decided to leave. I don't like that. I would have loved to have been able to persuade him. I'm surprised. I tried to give him more playing time late in the year, so that's disappointing. And Also getting rid of Mcrae. I wish I would have known with Cross, because I don't like losing both of these guys. So here's our recruiting class again, 17th, just a graphic recruiting preview. This is something they do. As you see us down here, all the top guys at the top. Michigan State with the top class, Kentucky, you see Villanova up there, and KU. Okay, Florida State's up there. That's a little concerning. Virginia, I'm looking at some ACC schools. Pitt's right there. Yeah, Florida State got Porter. Porter was the #1 ranked player in Florida. Looking back, I wish I would have went after him a little bit, and Everhart was the guy we liked in the recruiting. So North Carolina just had the one guy. Okay, big time player for sure. Looking at these other ACC schools, so Louisville, okay, they got 2 top 10 players, so Louisville's going to be good, not surprising. And then just looking at the top class here, yeah, wow, they got 3 top 10 players, my goodness. So Kentucky got the #1 overall player in Bradley, then filled it up with a couple really good prospects. So, okay, the scouting report, like I said, I wanted to go with the main one, so I want to stick with the Southeast. That's my goal with recruiting this year. I still want to stick with that. It worked out well, and just from a learning perspective, I definitely want to stick more, just definitely hone in on that Southeast. I'd love to recruit out of the region. I just think with our program right now and just kind of seeing how things work, I think this would be good. Got a big budget here, so taking a look at that. And we're looking at, now we're into the transfer session. We're a few into it here. We have 4 scholarships available. There's a few good players still left. I see Crosses up there still on the board. Yeah, we've not been able to land anybody, any transfers, which is disappointing because we lose out on Mcrae. That was my decision. And then Cross, you know what, I'm going to try it. I don't know if this is going to work out. I'm going to try and see if we can get him back. And just real quick, just a kind of an update. Ryland is staying at Virginia Tech. He was considering a little bit, trying to decide. There were some openings at, I think it was Duke, North Carolina, and Syracuse were all open in the offseason. Those were the 3 big heavy hitters, and he decided to stay at Virginia Tech. So I definitely want to check in with him. And I know he wants to make some adjustments with his team as well. But I think we both kind of learned things in the offseason, or from our first full year doing this. Yeah, there is nothing here. And I went through a couple weeks already in transfers, and there was one guy that was ridiculous. Like he was at Gonzaga, was West Coast Player of the Year, West Coast Conference Player of the Year, and I threw my hat in the ring to see if I could get him, but I did not get him. So back to it. I just don't see anything here, guys. I'm looking for, it's either 2 things with recruits, right? If you're in an ACC school, you're looking for either gets 2 things. They were at really good schools and didn't play much, or they're productive players at lower conferences, and they're looking for that step up. Little interesting, all the guys are sophomores, so they're going to have to sit out a year. It's not that grad transfer thing. And their overall ratings are C's and D's. And like I said, I put my hat in some other guys. It just didn't work out. And one thing I learned too with the transfers, it goes quick. Top guys go off the board quick. We had a little bit of a bug with this transfer process. So if anybody else is playing this, we actually had to make sure the league was updated. So we kind of missed out on the first couple of weeks as we tried to get it sorted out. But it's good to go. We're good to go. We're definitely, like I said, excited about this upcoming season here. I'm looking at the points per game. I like some of these guys, but man, I don't know. I like Fleming from Purdue. So he started all the. Okay, so he's a double-figure scorer. I kind of like him. Top choices going other big schools. So we can go after him. So he averaged double figures at Purdue. So that's kind of a rarity with the production at a Power 5 conference school. So we like that. So we got Kelvin Kelly here from Dayton. It's tough because, like I said, these guys have to sit out, and you want to make sure you're taking guys that can really be in your rotation, or else it's not worth offering. And I know one thing that real college teams always have to weigh is the graduate transfer. That's always a big deal right now. Getting guys that can play immediately, but programs certainly do go after guys. Transfers where they can sit them for a year and then have them for the next year. They're definitely okay with that because they want to stagger their class, and for whatever reason, programs might get off a little bit on their numbers, and that's why going to that transfer portal is so big. Man, I wish we could have been more successful with this. It is just not working out at all. Cross is still available, but that's about it. And the Cross thing, it seems very, very unlikely that we can get him, but I know you Miami fans would like to see him back with the squad. So we're just going to see if we can persuade him here. Okay, so here we go. So we're at June 25th. Our summer travel schedule, summer camps rapidly approaching. This was what I was excited about last year, so we're getting ready to get into this. We've got some scholarships available. Nothing working for us in recruiting or in the transfer portal. I know Ryland got like a 4-star guy. I definitely got to check in with him there at Virginia Tech. That's going to be big time for him. So, okay, so our summer travel plans, these are a lot of fun. I really want to go to all of them, but it's just not in the budget. I'm definitely going to do the East Coast Jam, and the way I look at it, I'm going to do what I did last year with the regional camps. I'm looking at Memphis. I think that's a good spot. Again, that southeast region. And then, let's see, there's Chicago. We can go to Texas. Vegas would be fun, but man, New York just makes the most sense. It says players from New York to the Carolinas. So we'd like to do that. And we'll see how it goes with that. I think in the 2021 pro draft. Okay, let's see if we had anybody drafted. Maybe our top guys were Chris Likes and Cameron McGusty. Maybe Nasir Brooks got healthy enough for the draft. Looking at all these KU guys, 3 guys in the top 7. My goodness. If you guys remember, Michigan State won the national title. A couple of UCLA guys, Providence. I don't see any of our guys. I don't know how much that I would have liked to it just because, but I don't know how much that helps in recruiting and program prestige. And you see right there, Wendell Moore Jr. had a monster season at Duke. Duke was one of the teams that actually flipped and put their real names in. I thought that worked out. And definitely this year, if there's any changes you guys want to see, maybe you want to see more head-to-head and more live games. We did that with when Ryland and I played each other. We did that. But if you guys have any recommendations, something you'd like to see a little bit different, or even something that you like that you want to make sure we don't change up, I definitely want to get through recruiting a little faster than we did last year on the episodes. This is always, I love this this look right here, the key dates, the season calendar, recruiting calendar kind of helps you guys out too. So we're sitting here in late June. You see it with the season calendar, with recruiting beginning, and the recruiting calendar, how that goes up to it. And I think the recruiting calendar is good because I think with basketball recruiting, sometimes it's easy to get lost in quiet period, dead period, and evaluation. Okay, so this is good. So this is just our initial recruiting outlook. Okay, I'm excited about this. We've got some 4-star guys interested in Miami, so that's good. Last year was a little bit rough. We didn't have very many. So we're going to open this up. So we have 6 scholarships available. That's going to be a busy time. I definitely want to save some for the spring for the transfer, so we have a couple there. At least one, or But last year we had 5 openings, and I think we signed 4 in the early period. Okay, so we've got a good look here. Let me know if you guys see any recruit here that really intrigues you. I'll look at them, but if there's some numbers that you really want me to check out, or somebody that you think that we should go after, let me know in the comments, because there's always guys that I miss, even though I'm trying to look at everything. So looking at Florida here, I like that these guys are from Florida and they're interested in Miami. It's taking a little bit here. Okay, so who we got? These are the best players in Florida. Okay, yeah, these top 3 guys, that's big time. They're all top 100. These top 5 guys. Okay, wow. So the top 2 aren't interested in Miami, but Vershaw is, and I like that. So Florida State are in the mix as well early on. The 15, 16 rebounds, that's crazy. That's great production from Port Orange. I like seeing where guys are from. And then Robinson's another guy. Top players. Well, yeah, this is okay. So Florida's right there in the mix. Okay, I like the 5 assists, 5 rebounds, a couple steals. I really like that as a point guard. And then Desmond. Looks like Kosick. Because last season Florida didn't have the big time guys in the state, and you see it here. Only 5 guys that are 4 stars. But I really like that we got 3 guys already initially interested. So I think I really want to go after all 3 of these guys from the jump. One thing I learned also with last year, with watching the film, getting proper evaluations is really helpful. You got to trust your coaching staff for sure. So the way it works is we get 10 players we can watch the film on. Right now it's a quiet period, but we can still call players. So yeah, and also if there's any recruiting strategies that you'd like to see me try out, I definitely want to go after these Florida guys first. Landing a commitment early would be huge. I don't remember I think Florida had a top 25 recruiting class. I don't remember what kind of season they had, but you saw Florida State, like I said, had that big recruiting class. So in terms of in-state rivals, we've got our hands full here. And I'm certainly looking at the future with these recruits here. And I'm not sure exactly what we're going to go with our starting rotation this year, our starting lineup. But I definitely want to pay attention to each player has ratings on their offense. Maybe they're a 40 in motion offense, but I definitely want to pay attention to that more this year and really run the right offense, if that makes sense. Okay, Southeast region. Okay, this guy is ridiculous. Burks, oh my goodness. Larry Burke, look at this stat line. 27 and 12 with 6 rebounds and 7 steals. My goodness. He's a number 4 player in the country. I would love to be able to land a 5-star. So I'm going to try these top guys here. I know the interest level is none, but man. That's crazy. Burke's from South Carolina. So we're still not south. Again, that southeast region is a priority. Kind of just want to offer these. One of the things that's kind of nice is that 6 scholarship thing. In terms of, because you can't go over the 6. Kerry Weber, man, I like this guy too. Nearly 22 points a game. We definitely got to scout these guys. But you can't offer more than, it's not like another, like in real life where you can offer as many as you want. You can only send out 6 offers, or however many offers you have. And I think that's okay, because that's a high number. So basically, kind of offer those top guys and just sit, and we still have 3 other options. Want to make sure we get these evaluations done. And the thing is, with those camps, we will get a chance to get evaluations done on other players as well. But I just like knowing some of these guys early, and just because they're 4 stars, the way I've learned is they can certainly drop to 3 in a hurry based on evaluations and things like that. So it doesn't always hold up, and I want to make sure that those Florida guys are definitely legit players. I really like that point guard Robinson. Let's see if there's anything in the Atlantic East for us. Looking at top players, sorted by that. A lot of good players. Okay, nobody's interested. You see all the oh my goodness. I don't even want. I don't know if I should waste my time. I felt like last year, I wish I would have like stayed on guys a little bit more, and so maybe this year I'll do that. See if you can flip a guy from none and then have him commit. So those top 3 guys, particularly in the Southeast, I might try and do that. Kind of just stay on them. I don't know if you can break through though. It's always tough, and because it's tough that they don't have that initial interest, and because we're going to be going against the best of the best program. But let's try and give them a call. I'm obviously going to sell playing time and location because we're in the same region. Okay, don't bother calling again. It's not what we wanted. Let's see if we can try this again with McMaster. That's not working out either. Let's see if Brown will work. And Brown and Burks from South Carolina. Man, that duo would be crazy. Okay, this is not going very well. And it's not that you're expecting much, but just hoping to be able to talk to them and start the dialogue. And I'm adding these guys to the phone list, the call list, and then also the target list. It certainly will fluctuate, but there's kind of I feel a little pressure with the 6 scholarships available, because you really want to load up, because if you don't get those 4-star guys, I mean, definitely would like a 5-star, but it seems out of the question. But if you don't get them and you load up on 3 stars, it's going to be hard to kind of break through and get those things that we're looking to do with that Final Four appearance at some point, and then also just eyeing that regular season title. And certainly we'll take the ACC tournament title as an accomplishment as well, but since it hasn't been on the program, I don't think there's any question. If we can get Vershaw and Robinson as 2 cornerstones early with this class, yes, cool. Okay, that's good. Pitch in the location, they like that. And I'm going to go with playing time. I don't really know if, off the top of my head, if that's going to work out. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how my freshmen do this year in terms of their rankings and things like that. And hopefully they are productive. Again, a lot is riding on Mike Howard at that power forward spot. So hopefully he's productive. Okay, just moving this along here. Got those guys in on visits. We got some evaluations back. Okay, this is good. All these guys are A's, so that's impressive. I like that. Okay, so Vershaw and Robinson are both A's. That's great. We keep this dialogue going. Go for location. Yep. And there's different ways you can do this, with the phone calls, and I like to do it a couple times just to really drill that. I don't really worry too much about trying to get answers on every single thing. I kind of, once I find something, or like a location, if they're in Florida, like I know that that's a benefit with our program. I think conference prestige is always a good one too with playing in the ACC for a team like Miami. I know Ryland talked about that at Virginia Tech, where he was really, you sell them on the conference prestige as opposed to your team, and that might help. We want to offer these guys. Check out how these visits went. Coach, just letting you know okay, that wasn't worthwhile. Not worthwhile. Okay. Burks. Oh, man. That did not go very well. Recruiting begins and the national camps. Okay. So a little disappointing that it doesn't feel like we had a breakthrough. I thought maybe we'd get them on a visit. Maybe they would like that. So we'll see. Maybe it's worth taking the scholarships back so we can use them somewhere else. Maybe not even try with these guys. Man, those numbers by Burks are crazy though. Because I think if we could get one 5-star guy in our program, even if it's a one and done, I think it would really boost what we're doing. Because I think not just with this year's team, but I think moving forward, I feel pretty confident that we can have a solid group of 4 stars. Certainly in the starting lineup, you want to have 4 stars. If you have your bench guy, if you're not very deep, I think there's ways you can work around it. But if we're able to throw in 1 5-star as like an elite guy, particularly in the scoring aspect, that could certainly help. Okay, I like Weber here. I just like that he's that scorer. Almost 22 a game. Let's see how this goes. That did not go well. We tried with this guy earlier. It's good that we got these evaluations. I want to just kind of go and get more, kind of go through the list and get as many as possible. It's kind of a mix too with watching the film. You want to make sure that the 4-star guys are actual 4 stars, but also you want to see if there's any of those 3-star guys can elevate and be a 4-star. But right now I want to stick to these top of the line guys in the Southeast. Make sure we know what we're going after. Make these guys the priority. And because, once again, it's kind of my philosophy as well. With the 6 openings, had 5 last year, just trying to take the best available. And the GPA thing, with Miami's, their standards are a little bit higher than average. So you need that SAT score to come in, and obviously there's some sort of correlation between the GPA and the SAT score. you don't find out the SAT scores till a little bit later. And you want to make sure you can get guys that you sign guys that they can actually enroll. And we didn't have any problems with that last year, so that was good. And a lot of the guys were actually like GPAs over 3.0. Howard, obviously the top player, I think he had a 4.0 GPA, so that was good. Don't have to worry about SAT scores. Use the scouting live feature a little bit more this year, even though it costs money. You see our budget is already down in a hurry. We didn't have a problem with team budget last year. I don't know what happened, why it went down so fast. We'll have to keep that in mind. And yeah, one of the things, location matters in terms of getting guys on a hosting the visit or going to see them or visiting them. It definitely takes a lot on the money. I remember looking at some of the international recruits, and it's like, man, it costs so much money to go there. And Rylan like powered through it there, and he actually landed a guy. I think he's from Australia, so it's like a 4-star guy. It's like his top recruit, but you really have to fork over the money and the budget to even try for it, and it wasn't an option that I went after. Keep watching some guys and kind of wrapping this up. And so basically the national camps are going on, and then you got the recruiting, the regional recruiting camps over the summer as well, and then we'll get into picking the schedule. Want to have a competitive non-conference schedule as well, and really get into it. And 15 wins I think is our goal for the year, which we should be able to do. Definitely want to get over 20 again and get to the NCAA tournament. That's one of our goals, so I think we can do that. But yeah, I'm just going to wrap, kind of just go through a couple of these recruiting cycles here in July. And for the next episode, we'll, kind of go more into recruiting, but also just kind of fast forward a little bit quicker than we did last time with this series of getting through it. And once again, I'll check in with Ryland and see how things are going with him at the end of this. Man, I want these guys, you certainly got to put in your time, but there's so many guys that I'm looking at that would definitely be a big benefit to our program. I think one of the things I'm really trying to get, if I could get a shooting guard, just a natural scorer, I think that would be great, because I like what we have at the point guard position. So this is Wong's junior year, and then Bensley Joseph as a freshman is more of a ball just a natural, give the ball up kind of thing. Point guard, looking for his teammates, and hopefully he's got good defense. So I think if we have the point guard spot a little bit solid, as a solid player distributing the ball, we've got to have wings that can score. I think Timberlake can do that, but I really want that 2-guard to fit in. Beverly is kind of the guy. It's kind of I don't know who to start, either Beverly or Elijah Alini, the transfer from Stony Brook. Just kind of looking at some guys here. Laws is the guy we got to look at because he's from Florida. Okay, getting some feedback here on Desmond. And it wasn't, so his athleticism's a B. I think that's always big for guys, particularly in the ACC. Scoring's a B. Kind of has F's in the other ones. I don't know if he's really an F. I think it's because it's kind of more of an incomplete, because I'm looking at his stats, so obviously he wouldn't average zeros in those, but I'm thinking that's what it is. So Robinson, scoring, passing, both A's, A overall, athleticism a B. I definitely want to get him in. And then Weber, okay, the scoring, again, scoring, passing, outside shooting is an A. I'd love to be able to add him. In the top 10 schools, that doesn't worry me, because I think that's going to change. I don't think he's that level of a guy, if I had to guess. I think it's just early with him. Vershaw. Like him to be a little bit more athletic, but he is a center. His rebound's an A, and inside scoring's an A. And really, I don't want to build from that power position anyways. With Howard there at the 4, I think he can be the scorer, and then if I have Vershaw at the 5 to be that defensive guy. That's what I always want with the defensive guy. So a rebounder, and then just kind of solid scoring is all I'm looking for. So Braun's another 2 guard I'm looking at. And I cannot let this guy go, man. I know he's over to those big time schools, but if we could just get one of these guys to, one of these 5-star guys to squeak through. Looking at some other guys here. One of the things I did last year with Howard and Boddicker, Howard in particular, because I remember, I kind of went back. I kind of worked backwards off of him. I kind of went back. It was a little bit later in the recruiting process. I want to say it was late July. I think maybe it wasn't until August when I offered him. But what I did is I looked at these scouting reports that came back on these national camps, and I looked at the camp MVP and the all camp team, and I kind of went through those guys, and that's how I found Howard. And he got noticed for one of these camps. So I went back and circled back and was able to grab him kind of late. It felt like it was late because I felt like we were looking at so many other guys before him, and it worked out. So these 5 guys are certainly ones I want to keep an eye on. The East Coast Jam. Yeah, I don't have very many people on the watch list, so that doesn't mean a whole lot. Brown's obviously the other recruit from South Carolina. It'll be interesting to see, like, if we don't get them, I wonder if those guys will stay in state maybe. But certainly you got to look at, like I said, Kentucky's leading on all these guys on the early going. But they can't take everybody. They had a huge freshman class they signed, I think 5 or 6 guys. And I don't know how it figures in if in the game, I don't know if they assume that they'll be one and dones like Kentucky typically recruits. Sort of by overall first. I know I pulled the scholarship on Burks, but I'm gonna go ahead and give him one back. I don't know if that's gonna help or hurt or anything. I'm just gonna stay on Burks, and we'll just see. We'll see if it's even worthwhile. I know it's a long shot, but if there's a long shot worth fighting for, he seems like the guy we gotta try with because he's in our recruiting area. Okay, he's not breaking through on the calls. And we'll see because this is not working out here. But and you certainly don't want to put all my time into these guys because we've got spots to fill. We have got to get some other guys involved. And certainly the way I'm looking, I'm going Vershaw, Robinson. Those are the top 2 guys, top 2 priorities, because I think those are the guys we can actually land. So we got to make sure we're hitting on those guys. And Vershaw liked the facilities, or his parents said he liked the facilities, so I want to do that. And the location. So I'm going to just stay with that. And just keep working on some of these other guys in the initial stages here. Braun, again, that shooting guard. Let's see if we can break through there. We'll keep them on the call list with these guys, and then I can make those calls, but also the staff makes calls to guys as well. And so you get the feedback on areas that are important to them. And as soon as we know that, then we can really hammer in that with the phone calls. This seemed to work well last year. And I was pretty pleased. The 17th ranked class, first time around. So Oliver's got us 10th. I want to keep an eye on Oliver. He's a JUCO guy, which is fine. The big thing is that GPA, that 2.7. So hopefully the SAT score matches up and can get in. I'll have to look at some point what exactly our requirements were. I don't know if it is a little, like I said, it was a little higher than the average. and it wasn't a problem last year or concern. It just wasn't something I had to deal with because the guys I were recruiting were pretty, it seemed like most of the guys were over 3-0. Okay, so we got some other guys here. A lot of 4-star prospects in the area. So he likes the facility, or the parents say he likes the facilities. Okay, it's good to know. I'm not as sold on Desmond as I am with Vershaw at this point. And so here we go. So we got different guys here. I like this one. Just adding all these guys. But yeah, this is going well, and I definitely want to make sure, Bensley Joseph wasn't the only Miami commit in 2021. They actually have 2 more guys, Ja'Kai Robinson, and then I seen Poplar, I think I pronounced that right, a guard. So I'm definitely going to have those guys on the roster as well before the season starts. And then what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and swap out the names. I don't want to mess with the ratings too much, or at all. I'll just kind of leave it what it is, and we'll go with it because I want to make sure that whatever I recruit, that's what I have on the roster. With the Bensley Joseph one, it worked out because, like I said, his overall rating was actually really close to the point guard that I signed. But, just want to keep like the real names on the roster. And if you guys are fans, I know that happened last year. There were fans of other programs. I might put the real names in there as well. Like I said, played Duke. If there's any other non-conference teams that we have on the schedule, any big-time schools, maybe we'll set that up. But I definitely like doing the head-to-head matchup when Riley and I watch the team play, our teams play against each other. Those were always good. A good time to watch. Maybe we'll do more of those as well. But yeah, this game certainly has a lot of features, and I am looking forward to this next recruiting class. And I think it's a pivotal one because that's the thing with recruiting. You want to stack classes as you build a program. It's great to have one, a good player in your class, or if you feel good about your class, like I do about this last recruiting class for 2021. You got to make sure you follow that up with a solid class in 2022 and just stacking those classes because not everybody works out, and you want to make sure they're all grouped together with strong players. Like I said, I want to go 4 stars across the board on starting lineup. That's my goal. Hopefully get maybe that above average player. I think Earl Timberlake can be that for us, and that's good because he's a sophomore, so it gives us a few years to work with him. We just got to get everybody else built around him, and I think we'll do okay. I was able to notice, I forgot, I did check, Cross went to Alcorn State, and then Lester Johnson was a guy I was for Ryland. Lester Johnson actually he transferred out. He was a guy that started for Ryland, and I actually tried to go after him, but he ended up at Iona. And then the Robinson guy, the guy that I talked about that was the best transfer on the market from Gonzaga, ended up at Villanova. So just a little bit of updates on those guys. And I wasn't really in on other transfers. Like the Fleming guy, I don't remember where he ended up. Yeah, definitely want to wrap this up. And the thing is, too, other states, we want Weber there. I'm starting to get some feedback on some other guys. By nature, I want to be a little bit more aggressive on the recruiting and offering, but I just think it's important to make sure we get these evaluations back. Definitely looking for guys that are A's and B's And if they're a C, we just definitely have to make sure we know what we're getting and why they're a C. Trust the scouting reports that we're getting coming back. But the thing about if they're a C, and I look at them like, okay, if they're a reserve player, a guy off the bench, maybe they're an elite shooter, an A in outside shooting, or maybe they're a really good defender because that might be good, just a good role player for our team. So we'll just have to pay attention on those evaluations. I want to collect more of them, go to these camps, have a strong July. I like to get a commitment as soon as possible, but we definitely got to check in with Ryland as I look at the rest of these states in the Southeast. See if there's anything that pops. Ryland, what's going on, man? We got another season. We got another season going. I'm excited. So big news, you decided to stay at Virginia Tech. What was the thought process with that? Why'd you want to stay there?
I think part of it was I just kind of wanted to see this thing through. I kind of was, trying to start building the program, and I felt like before I could even see if what I was trying to do was working, then I'd be leaving and going to a bigger school where things would maybe in theory be a little easier. But I just wanted to see if I could actually kind of build something from the ground up, kind of get a little bit more joy out of that.
So the big thing, so we're going through this recruiting thing. We go through the transfers, I guess. How did you do with transfers, in and out, and then we're getting ready to do this recruiting thing over again. I felt like I learned some things or some things I want to do differently. What are some things that you want to do different with recruiting, and how did things shake out with you in the transfer window?
Yeah, for the transfer window, basically, I kind of just threw a dart at the dartboard. Offered one of the top transfer guys. I think he was number 5 overall transfer. Went ahead and just threw him a scholarship offer, and you know what? He took it. So I needed a center. I'm a little small, so unfortunately he won't play this year. But moving forward, I'll have him available for me. So I got him. He's a 4.5 star. So going to be one of my best players for sure. When it comes to recruiting, same as you. Yeah, definitely learned a lot. I did all kinds of things wrong last year, from recruiting out of my region to giving people scholarship offers and revoking them. I mean, just did all kinds of craziness. This year, focusing a little bit more on my region. So far, I've only talked to people in my region. Haven't given out those scholarship offers yet. So we'll wait till I get somebody who's a little bit higher on the interest scale. So we'll see if I can do a little bit better.
It sounds like, I know for me, recruiting is going to be huge because I have 6 offers available, so I feel like I was going to be busy once again. How many scholarships do you have available for the upcoming cycle here?
Yeah, so I had 3, gave one away at the transfer, so I'm down to 2. So I have 2 scholarship offers. I'm guard heavy. My team, I got a lot of young guards. Not very big, so I'm kind of trying to focus my efforts in the power forward center department. That transfer I got was a center, so really maybe one guard, one big man would probably suffice. But yeah, I won't be too busy in recruiting with my 2 scholarship offers.
Sounds good. Yeah, full disclosure, I was trying to go after one of your guys that transferred, Lester Johnson. He didn't he didn't want to come down to Miami. I was hoping to get all the secrets, but
he's a bad egg. He's a bad egg.
Yeah, so well, cool, man. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Next one, we'll get through this recruiting stuff and get ready for that next season. We got to both do well the next year and kind of new look, and I felt like definitely learned a lot, so that's cool.
Yeah, my job's coming.
So, all right, man. Yeah, I'll let you go. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Yeah. So that was a great first episode as we get ready for the next season. Just want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing. You can follow me on Twitter @InsideTheU. And for all your coverage of the Miami Hurricanes, check out InsideTheU.com and take care.